Mark, I know you arrived on the Soyuz, so it's a great ship, but are you out there looking out the window at the Dragon with a little bit of envy?
When I look inside, it's a beautiful spacecraft. Definitely some envy there. The windows are incredible. And the views, honestly, the fact that we had Dragons docked to both the forward end of the station and the zenith side of the station allowed me to see views from the station I had never seen before, and I will always be grateful for that. But the fact that I was able to get to the space station in only 3 hours, and these guys took much longer than that, I will never envy their trip for that.
You know, you all are doing, obviously, so much important research up there on the ISS, and we've been talking a lot about the medical research, especially important right now. Can you tell us a little bit about the kind of research you're doing there?
One of the research projects that Mark has worked on already this week, and I'll get to work on later, is called Celestial Immunity, and it's a study that looks at how gravity affects our immune system and what we can learn about the immune system and immune pathways by taking gravity out as a variable, basically. So there are donors on Earth that gave blood cells, both young adult and elderly folks, so they can also look at age as a variable. And so the idea is to potentially find new treatments for emerging diseases or even potentially existing diseases. So neither one of us has a biology background, so it's pretty exciting for us to get to be, you know, hands in a glove box and doing the kind of thing you see biologists doing on TV with the pipetting and, you know, moving fluids around. So we've got an expert always in our ear and kind of looking over our shoulder from a camera to help talk us through step by step. And so it's really neat for me as an engineer to know that I get to contribute to this kind of medical research.
Fantastic. You know, we are just months away, I don't need to tell you, from that first fully civilian launch into space with Inspiration 4. Megan and Shane, we all watched you just sitting in that pilot and commander seat. Does it concern you at all that no professional astronaut like yourself will be on Inspiration 4?
Well, we've been through the SpaceX training flow, and we know that those professionals are going to do a great job training this crew, and they're going to put them through a training flow that's very similar to what we did. They won't obviously need to do the portion that allows them to come to the International Space Station, but they're going to get all of the same training as far as monitoring the vehicle systems and as far as becoming familiar with their spacesuits and the emergency equipment. So, you know, I don't know the Inspiration 4 crew, but I do know the SpaceX team, and I know that they're going to do a great job preparing this crew for what they're going to experience.
I know a lot of people have dreamed of going into space, and so there's all this talk about space tourism. What are your thoughts on that and how this could potentially be expanded?
Well, I think it's a great idea, and I'm looking forward to, obviously, Inspiration 4 being the first ones to do this. And then, you know, I've always tell my friends and people I'm talking to after my experiences, you know, we always want to share it with them, and this will hopefully open the door for many more people, civilians per se, to be able to come up and experience what we get to experience quite a bit. So I think it's a great idea, and looking forward to what the next decade holds for space tourism.
What are some of the biggest projects that you're working on right now that you believe will directly impact Americans in the coming years?
So the name escapes me, but we've done research in systems that help us better understand data about diabetes. And so, you know, that's a huge problem in the United States. If we can better understand the mechanisms for transfer in and out of cells, and better develop sensors to be able to understand the situation that people are in, that's certainly going to have a huge impact on a lot of people in the United States.
Absolutely. And listen, I cannot tell you the number of messages I get every time we cover one of your launches, which is amazing how many we've had pretty recently. How does it feel to know that every single launch is inspiring so many Americans at a time when really Americans need that inspiration?
Well, I agree. It's been a particularly tough year for the world, really. And, starting last year with the Demo 2 launch, I think that was very inspiring for people to see a return of launching people from the United States and to the International Space Station. It was very inspiring for all of us. April this year, the month that we all launched, was a pretty exciting month, too, with launches and landings. And it feels really special to be a part of something that people can look to and be inspired and be uplifted. And we definitely are the lucky ones that get to be up here, but it takes thousands of people really to make it happen and to make all of this work every single day. So we feel very fortunate to be able to represent all of that to our country and to the world. And we just feel really lucky to be here.
Well, Mark, Megan, Shane, it is always so incredible that we're able to even do this and have this conversation between Earth and space. So thank you so much for taking the time to be here.
Thanks to you.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the event.